Well, hello friends. Today we're going to work a little bit on the text editing component in Serenity. And there's a specific thing related to scrolling that I've been wanting to fix forever, but I just keep ignoring. And it's that when you start selecting like this, and then you go outside the window with the cursor, but I'm still holding the mouse down, I'm kind of expecting it to keep scrolling at like a steady pace, right? And if I go further away from the window, I want the pace to kind of speed up. And if I go closer to the window, I want it to slow down. But even if it would only like continue at a steady pace, that would be fine. Because currently I have to actually like wiggle the cursor to make it move. Because it only reacts to mouse events. So that's something I would really like to fix. And the way I imagine we would do that is that when we're handling like a mouse event and the cursor escapes the window, we would just start a timer, and then we would turn that timer off once you come into the window again, or if you let go of the mouse button. So let's try it out. So this would be in the GUI text editor component, and I haven't looked at this in at least a month, probably more. So we're gonna have to refamiliarize ourselves a little bit. Let's look at the mouse move event, because that's probably where we are. Yeah, so we have this concept called drag select, which is what we're doing right now. So when we're drag selecting, we place the cursor at the text position at the current event position. So basically wherever in the document the mouse event is pointing at, that's where we place the cursor. And then the way selection works is that you have like a start position, and then you have a cursor position. And the selection is from the start position to the cursor position. Whether that's forward or backwards, it doesn't matter. So that's right here. We have the end of the selection becomes the cursor, basically. But so I'm thinking when we are in drag select, when we're in drag select and we leave, so do we have a leave event? Yes, we do. So if we leave while in drag select, so leave means that the cursor leaves the widget, and enter means that the cursor enters the widget. So here we can say, if you leave, then we'll just have some timer for that, like auto scroll timer start, maybe. Automatic selection scroll timer. Let's be extra clear what this is. And then when you enter the widget, we'll turn that off. So I guess we can do it unconditionally, actually. Okay, so this guy, we'll make him a member. So it's a timer, core timer. Okay, and then we have to actually use arrows because it's a putter. Okay, so libcore, timer, and let's construct this thing right here, maybe. Core timer construct, or maybe we can even do add core timer. So add is a helper that creates a core object. It works on any core object class. So core timer is a core object, and it just creates it as a child of the current core object. So this text editor here is a GUI widget, or like a GUI scrollable widget, which is a GUI frame, which is a GUI widget, which is a core object. And then core object has add, which just creates any other core object and makes it a child of this. So this is a handy dandy way to do that. So we add a timer and we say that the interval, I guess we wanted the interval to kind of be dynamic a little bit. So maybe we'll say that the initial interval is 1 second and we need some kind of callback. So we'll just say like automatic selection scroll timer fired. I don't know, it doesn't have to be some exciting name. Very, very verbose and should be very clear what this is about. So I'll just put that right there. Okie dokes. Actually, let's put him next to the mouse move. Mouse move A, because this will be kind of similar to that, I guess. So I guess if we are not in drag select, then we can actually stop the timer. I don't know why we would not be in drag select. Maybe we should assert that we are in drag select, because otherwise the timer should have been stopped. I think that's maybe okay. Yeah. Somehow this feels like one of those assertions that's going to fire and then it'll be really weird and it will have something to do with like the way events are delivered in like an unexpected order sometimes. But maybe that's fine because then we'll have to figure out how that should work anyway. So I'll put that in there. And then, no, don't stoop. Instead, if it fires, then set cursor. Okay, so we gotta compute some new cursor location. So basically we're just gonna move we're gonna act like, if you're holding steady, we're gonna act like you moved a little bit up, essentially. So we'll do sort of this logic here, except we will pretend that you moved a certain number of pixels up. Maybe actually it could be the distance. So it's not that we scroll more often when you are holding farther away, it's just that we're scrolling larger steps. That makes a lot more sense, then we don't have to have a dynamic interval. What was I even thinking with that? Okay, so let's say 10 times a second, we'll scroll a little bit. And my brain is blanking out. So graphics point, imaginary position is, but we don't know. I guess we should actually track. We don't know what the last mouse position was, and we could ask the Windows server like, "Hey, where's the mouse?" But it might be easier to just remember where it was. So let's just do that. We don't have to add API to Windows Server. So last mouse location, last mouse move position. Okay, that's fine. And then imaginary position is last mouse move position, translated. And this is going to be depending on if you're above or below the window. Wait, how does this work actually? Okay, I don't know what that bug is. Sometimes a terminal comes up and it doesn't do anything. It's a bit weird. So if I'm in the window, it doesn't do anything, but the moment I go outside the widget, I expect it to start auto-scrolling. So it's not just about leaving the window, but it's like leaving the text editing widget. Like here, I expect auto-scroll, yeah. So, let's see. If imaginary position dot y is less than 0, then if m last mouse move position is less than 0, then imaginary position is the last one translated by, say, wait. Do I have to do any of this? And I'm probably overthinking this, because actually what happens when I just wiggle the cursor here is that it already does what I want. So I could probably just resend the last mouse move position again instead of doing this gunk. So what if we just did this essentially, but not that, and this would just use m last mouse move position. This is becoming simpler and simpler the more I think about it, but that's really good. It's always really nice when something is simpler than it seemed originally. Maybe it's even simpler than this. We'll see when this comes up. It's been a while since I've been working on the widgets. It's really nice to spend some time on that. So let's see. Okay, we are very slow to build today, but now we're finished. So let's see. Ooh, that assertion coming straight out the gate. Because that timer starts up immediately when we start the program. I didn't mean to do that. Stop yourself, you silly. And then all the relinking. So much of it. Okay. Oh, look at that. It's automatically going. It's actually doing it. Oh, that's so cool. And there's one of those. See, I knew this was gonna happen. All right, so in drag select, so we didn't kill the timer on mouse up, is that it? Yeah, so we kill drag select here, but we don't kill the timer. Actually, you know what is a nicer way to organize this in general? Is that when we get the timer, and if we're no longer in drag select, we'll just turn it off. Boom. And then when you start drag selecting, which happens in one place right here, we will start the timer. Yeah, that'll be good. Ugh, and then the rebuild. What if I don't want to rebuild everything? Can I just the GUI and apps text editor sync and run? Okay. Oh, I didn't get. Okay. Oh, so cool. Okay, this is really, really sweet. So if I'm holding really close here, then it's not going terribly fast. But interestingly, if I move the cursor sideways, then it sort of speeds it up. Is that normal? Let's see what the editor here in Mate does. Oh, here I have to wiggle. Well, I don't like that. Well, it seems like these guys have slightly different life goals than I do. Okay, well, QCreator definitely does this. So if I go here, it's real slow. If I wiggle, it doesn't speed it up. It's completely dependent on the Y position, it seems like. Well, I'm happy with the solution we have. Good for me. Good enough for me. I think that pace is pretty okay. So maybe we skip that lambda actually. There's no point in having one of these, maybe, or actually no, we have to do that because we have to capture this. Okay, well, that's fine. So let's commit the GUI. Keep scrolling, automatically scroll while drag selecting outside. Oh, this. How do you explain this? Keep scrolling while drag selecting outside a text editor. If you start selecting text and move the cursor outside the text editor widget area without letting go of the mouse button, we will now keep scrolling a little bit every 10, 100 ms. The amount scrolled is relative to your distance, the distance between the cursor and, I mean, actually we don't have to say that, but because it's a little bit complicated because it's not pixel relative, but it's like quantized to line steps because of the way that we compute it by saying like, well, what's the text position like this far above the widget, right? Anyway, I think that's a really nice change. And there was something in there that was kind of bothering me a little bit, so let me just take a quick look at that. When I do this, oh yeah, this thing. When I'm selecting text here and I if I go up, it's fine. But if I move too far to the left, then it drops the cursor. Like it doesn't come with me, or I don't know. Like I would expect it to stay sticky like this if I go too far to the left instead of like flopping back over to the other side. So maybe we can work out what's going on with that. So that would be in mouse move. I guess text position at is returning something goofy. Maybe we can actually see that. We see down here what the cursor position is. Line 5, column 7, right? So if we pull up that, it turns into line 5, column 84. So there's a wraparound, so it actually goes to the end of that column. And the same thing up here, right? If you go too far to the left, it wraps to the end of the line for the cursor. So why is it doing that? Text position at. Oh, this old function. Man. Coordinate math. My least favorite math. So text position at takes an arbitrary point in document content coordinates and turns it into a text position, which is like a line number and a column number. As you can see here, it's a line and a column. So so what do we do if line wrapping is enabled? Oh, is this related to that? Let's find out quickly if this happens with line wrapping off. Line wrapping off, and still happens. All right, so it's not line wrapping. And we have the line index correctly. It's the column index that comes out wrong. So we have to look at the text alignment. In our case, it's center left that we're using in the text editor. So the column index is position x plus glyph width divided by 2 divided by glyph width. So we try to locate the center of, position x. So we try to start from the middle of a glyph, because every glyph in the text editor is same width because we use fixed width only here. So the column index is the x position plus half a glyph divided by the glyph width. So if the x position is negative, I guess that's the problem. We're coming in here with a negative x position. And then it will wrap around. So position x. What if we just do this? Cheeky, clicky, clicky. Look at that. That's just right. All right, so that's 2 bugs fixed. Very, very nice. Much better. Man, that was really irritating the way that was doing. Wait a minute. That doesn't look right. What the heck? Why is it doing this now? Did I just introduce this bug? So oops. So all right, let's take it back and see if we just introduce this. No, that's already there. And this is a pretty bad bug. Okay, well, let's not get carried away and debug everything in the text editor today, but we can at least include this fix. So text libgui. Don't fix this unpleasant selection behavior when dragging far to the left. If you select some text and drag the cursor off outside the widget on the left hand side, we would previously suddenly snap the selection cursor to the end of the line instead of keeping it at the start of the line as you would expect. This patch fixes that. Okay, so there are more bugs here. I'm not gonna fix all of them today, but I think we got some nice stuff done here, so I'm very happy with that. And I think we're gonna end it for today. Just wanted to do a little bit of text editor stuff. So if you made it this far, then thank you for watching, for hanging out, and I hope that something was interesting here. I'm glad to be working a little bit on the random GUI stuff again. It's important to not get too carried away with one thing. I know I was doing only browser stuff for so long, and it's really nice to take a step back and then realize that, wait a minute, we have a whole desktop system here to mess with. So it's a really good feeling. Anyway, that's about it. So thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you next time. Bye.